I think you need to get a blood test on him today. We got to see what he's doing. All right. Thank you.
Dr. Murray was jettisoned in this whole situation 2 months prior. What Dr. Murray knew about Michael Jackson's situation was what he knew from his treatment of him in Vegas. He did not know. And Randy Phillips told you that rather than tell him about what Michael Jackson was doing in the background, he just simply cryptically said that he's seeing Arnold Klein. So on June 19th, this voicemail was sent from Frank DeLeo. And it said, and you heard it, he says, we need to figure out what he's doing. Well, it's really not what he's doing. It's what's being done to him. See, Michael Jackson, and you can tell this by Kenny Ortega's email, and Randy Phillips denied this, of course. Michael Jackson was under a tremendous, abnormal, impossible amount of pressure by AEG. And it wasn't just related to his trips to Arnold Klein's office. It was related to his appearances at rehearsals. So when Kenny Ortega says in his email to Randy Phillips, you know, we threatened to pull the plug. You can read the email. It's number 1 on the exhibit list. We tried tough love. You can sense, you can see what Michael Jackson is going through during this entire process. Now, during this period of time as well, Michael Jackson is visiting Arnold Klein, according to Fahim Muhammad, essentially every day. And you saw at least a sample of what was happening in Michael Jackson's life. But as I told you in the opening statement, Michael Jackson compartmentalized these issues. Dr. Murray is a part of that. Now, let's be clear about what Dr. Murray actually did. You can judge, and I can't disagree, giving propofol, whether giving propofol in the home is an appropriate thing to do. And for 60 days, he did that. Infusion for 60 days. But Dr. Murray provided a drug, not a controlled substance, to a patient for a specific medical condition. He did not give Demerol to Michael Jackson. He did not provide him drugs to fuel some addiction. And if Dr. Murray were inclined to do that, then you would have seen that. So Dr. Murray goes home during the day, and the other life is taken over. The crux of this case, the ultimate crux of this case, when it all comes down to it, is the prosecution believes and will argue to you that Michael Jackson, that Dr. Murray should be responsible for Michael Jackson self-administering. That Dr. Murray should be responsible for that. And Dr. Steinberg got up on the stand, and I know this was a soundbite, but it was just incredibly aggravating. He gets up on the stand and he says that Dr. Murray, in treatment of Michael Jackson, was like a baby on a countertop. Remember that line? And it was the most insulting possible thing you can say about Michael Jackson. As if this fully formed 50-year-old man was just a baby. And he had absolutely no ability to make decisions for himself. That he couldn't make contracts for himself. That he couldn't raise his children for himself because he's just a baby. Mr. Walgren is absolutely right. Michael Jackson is an adult. He makes his own decisions. He had plans for the future, and he knew exactly what he was doing. And if you're going to hold Dr. Murray responsible, if you're going to say that he's responsible for the specific and unusual acts of Michael Jackson, if you're going to say that, and Mr. Walgren's response is, well, Michael Jackson once said that a doctor let him push it in. One time. And what was Dr. Murray's response? Not on my watch. So was Dr. Murray supposed to watch Michael Jackson to save him from himself at all times? Was he never to leave? Should there be alarm in the bed? At what point do you draw the line about Dr. Murray's responsibility for a grown-up? And if you're going to go that far, since now you know from Dr. Schaefer and Dr. White that Michael Jackson didn't just die of propofol, he died from a combination of propofol and a load of lorazepam. Because the propofol alone, Dr. Schaefer told you, wouldn't have killed him. So now are we going to hold Dr. Murray responsible for that as well? One of the, I understand it's a touchy thing to say. Nobody wants to say it. But I want you to take this case out of Michael Jackson. Take it away from Michael Jackson. Think about that. Take it away. Let's put it somewhere else. Let's put it in a psych hospital. If some patient kills himself. Put it in a hospital where some patient breaks into a cabinet. Put it in a family situation where somebody overdoses. Put it anywhere you like. But at least if you're going to hold Dr. Murray responsible, don't do it because it's Michael Jackson. This is not a reality show. It's reality. And the decisions you make, is it making good TV? It's how it affects real human beings and people that love them. So I hope that you do the right thing and find Dr. Murray not guilty. Thank you.
Mr. Chernoff, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take the mid-afternoon break. Of course, please remember all the admonishments. Approximately 15 minutes for the break. Thank you.